everybody, it's me, Tess, with Tess Loves Yarn. And you guys, we are here today to talk about my favorite yarn for making granny squares and why they are my favorite yarn. And I want to give you a little bit of something to think about when you are putting together granny squares for your next granny square project. I think a lot of people just kind of grab the yarn and start making granny squares without really putting a lot of thought into it. And today I want to let you know why I put a lot of thought into the yarn I use for my projects. Now, we all know that different yarn has different characteristics, right? You have cotton, you have acrylic, you have wool, your natural fibers and your man-made fibers. And natural fibers and man-made fibers all have different characteristics. Some are breathable, some are not. Some have a good drape, some do not. Some retain heat and some do not. Some soak up moisture and some do not. There are a lot of things to think about when you're thinking about yarn. So the first thing that I do when I am thinking of a granny square project, I think about the season of the year. I think, is it spring, summer, fall, or winter, and is it a wearable, or is it a household item like a kitchen textile? Am I using it for cleaning? Am I using it for drying dishes? Am I using it in the shower or the bathtub? Am I wearing whatever it is I'm making? So these are all things that I go through when I am trying to decide what yarn to use to make my squares. So the three yarns or types of yarn that I really like to use are: number one, cotton yarn, two is acrylic yarn, and three is a natural fiber blended with acrylic. So I want to briefly touch base on why I use the yarns for what I use them for, and give you the reasons why, so that you can understand a little bit better the different characteristics and why it's a good idea to use that type of yarn for certain projects and not others. Okay, so talking about cotton yarn, if I am making a kitchen textile, meaning something I'm going to use in my kitchen like a dishcloth or a drying towel or anything like that, you can bet that I will be using a yarn like Lily's Sugar and Cream, or the Walmart version, which is the Peaches and Cream yarn that you can get at Walmart. These two are almost exactly the same. So the Sugar and Cream and the Peaches and Cream, hands down, I will use these for kitchen items all the time. I also like these two different cotton yarns for tote bags, market bags, and things like that, where I'm going to be carrying a lot of things in that bag. And that's because this cotton is very sturdy. It is a cotton that doesn't have a lot of stretch. It's like gonna hold its shape really, really well because it doesn't like stretch out very much. It's not elastic, or it doesn't have a lot of elasticity to it. Okay, so it's perfect for those things. It's also very good for scrubbing. So I will use this yarn for those type of projects. Now, if I am wanting to do a summer wearable, once again, I'm going to use cotton yarn, but I am not going to use this. This is a coarser yarn that I only use for like I said, cleaning things like dishcloths, dish towels, tote bag, you know, things to carry heavy things, or market bags, tote bags, market bags. This yarn is great for that. For a wearable, not as great. But what I do like for a wearable, if it's in the summer, is the Peaches and Cream stripy yarn that you can get at Walmart. This is $1.77 at Walmart. It's beautiful. I actually made this granny square washcloth out of it. This I love for the bath or the shower, and I prefer this over this because the stripy yarn is a much softer yarn. Now it's 100% cotton, so it washes up really well, just like this cotton, which is another benefit of using cotton because it washes up really well. However, this is a lot softer, so it's easier on my skin. You know, I can use it. It does have a little bit of an exfoliant property to it. It's a lot softer than this yarn, but yet it does have that little bit with being crocheted. It's got that texture, and it does help get rid of some dry skin. I even use these on my face. So love this for bathroom items. I also love this for a summer wearable. And when I say a summer wearable, I mean like a tee, like a granny square tee. I will do it for like a granny square skirt or a granny square dress. Now, last year I actually made a granny square dress. I made the Taylor Swift dress, and I made it out, I actually made that out of 100% cotton, but it was the Joann's K&C cotton that I used. Now, unfortunately, we all know Joann's is either already gone or closing like next week, right? All the stores are going to be closed by the end of May. So you can't really get this too much anymore. But I did enjoy using this. Now, a yarn that is similar to this is the Hobby Lobby I Love This Cotton, and I would definitely and have definitely used this yarn to make summer wearables. Now, why would I make a summer wearable out of this? Because cotton is breathable. It lets your skin breathe, so you don't get overheated, which is why if I'm making something for summer or late spring, summer, or early fall, where I live can be very hot. It can get up to 100 degrees or more here in the summertime. And so having something that's breathable is very important to me, and that's why I like the cotton, but I like a soft cotton for that. Okay, so once again, you need to think about your project. You know, you need to think about where it's going to be used and how it's going to be used. And if it's a wearable, what time of the year are you going to be wearing it? Because this all makes a difference in the type of yarn that would be best for the project. Now, talking about acrylic yarn, because that's my next yarn. Acrylic yarns are actually good yarns to use for almost anything. However, I do not use them for summer wearables. And the reason is because acrylic yarn does not breathe like cotton, and it doesn't absorb moisture like cotton. If you're outside and you get a little sweaty, that cotton's going to kind of wick that moisture away from your body, and it's going to help you stay cool. Acrylic will not do that. And that is why I do not recommend acrylic yarn for summer wearables. However, acrylic yarn is great for most things. I don't recommend it for kitchen textiles or bathroom spa items like washcloths or makeup remover. I don't recommend acrylic for that either, because number one, acrylic is not going to soak up the water and get like really wet like cotton will. It's not going to wash up like cotton will, and it's just not good for kitchen or bathroom things. So plain and simple, it is what it is. Now, different acrylic yarns that I really like. Once again, I like the Hobby Lobby. I love this yarn. It goes on sale every other week. You can't beat it. It's a great yarn. It washes up well. I have been using it for years. I have never had a problem with it. So I really like that. I really like the Loops and Threads Soft Classics acrylic yarn. It is very similar to the Hobby Lobby yarn, but only it's a Michaels yarn. So if you don't have a Hobby Lobby or you don't like Hobby Lobby, you can get that at Michaels or vice versa, right? The other yarn that's 100% acrylic that I absolutely love is Premier's anti-pilling yarn. It is just, it's one of their basic stitch yarns, but it's anti-pilling. It also has a really nice drape. Let me see. What did I do with that? Believe it or not, I did have a granny square made with it, and it has vanished. I wanted to show you the drape that it had. It actually has a better drape than any other acrylic yarn that I've used, and it works up beautifully if you're making any kind of a project that's like a shawl or a poncho or anything like that you're going to put together that you want some drape on. The Premier anti-pilling yarn is wonderful. Now, by the way, this is not sponsored by anybody. This is my own thoughts and opinions, and I buy my own yarn. And if I don't buy it, I tell you I didn't buy it. So there you have it. The other yarn that I used to really like was the Big Twist. But, you know, once again, that's mute now. Can't get it anymore. So it is what it is. But anyway, that is the acrylic yarn that I prefer and that I like to use for certain projects, right? Now, the blends that I like are the cotton and acrylic blend and the wool and acrylic blend. Now, the cotton and acrylic blend I like for, I will use it even for summer wearables. And let's see, I have an example. This is a Caron cake, and this is a 60% cotton, 40% acrylic blend. So is this right here. You can get these in a lot. Caron cakes come in a lot of different colors, and you can get these fairly easily. Excuse me, you can order them online or you can get them at Michaels. Michaels is a big Caron cake carrier, right? So you can get those at Michaels. Now, the beauty with the blend is that you get all of the great positive attributes of the natural fiber, plus you get the structure and the stability of the acrylic. So that is the beauty of a blend. Acrylic also adds a little elasticity to your fabric. So if you were using 100% cotton, you would not get this stretch. But because this has acrylic in it, you're getting, look at that stretch. You can't get that in just a cotton alone. So that's another advantage of doing a blend. And I like that with a wool. and I will use a wool blend for like winter wearables, fall wearables, because I love wool. Wool is one of my all-time favorite yarns, right? I love wool, just do. If I could have sheep in my backyard and shear them and do all the things, I would, but you know, I can't do that. So, but I do love wool. And so the wool and acrylic blend, once again, you get all of the lovely characteristics of wool, like the nice drape and the warmth that it gives for cold weather wearables. But yet with the acrylic, you also get garments that will hold their shape a little better and that have a little better structure to them. And also, you know, the washability of your garment is a little bit better when it's a blend. So those are the 3 types of yarns with specific yarns that I actually like and that I actually spend my money on, that I use for making my projects. So the next time you're starting a granny square project, like the cardigan project, if you are making the cardigan with me, then sit down and think about how you want that cardigan. Do you want it to have drape? Do you want it to be warmer, or do you want it to be breathable? Think about that. Be mindful about it. Think about it, and then decide on the fiber that you want to use, and then go out and get that yarn and get the colors that you want to make your project, right? So hopefully this video has given you something to think about. Let me know in the comments below if you've ever been a person to really think about your projects, or if you're the kind of person that sees something and goes, ooh, I want to make that, and you just grab your yarn and start making it without giving it a lot of thought, right? Because, you know, we're all different, right? So I am hoping that you learned a little something from this video, and that the next time you're making a project with your yarn, that you'll think about it a little more in depth, so that that project, when it's fully completed, looks and functions in the exact way that you want it to. Because we're putting a lot of time, effort, and money into making our crochet and knitted projects, right? And we want them to be beautiful, gorgeous, and all the things. So anyway, with that all said, you guys, that is the end of the video today. If you have not seen my make a granny square cardigan video, it will be listed in the description below, so check that out. And thank you again for being here with me today. And you all know what's next. Be kind and be safe out there in the world, no matter where you are. See you all soon. Bye, everybody.